Hey, good morning, CSL. Hey, good morning, CSL. Hey, there we go. Very cool. My name's Jake. That's Yuri. That's James. That's Joe. We're the band, and we're going to get right into it. Please help me welcome our amazing guest artist. I've been working with this dude for 4 years at Amazing Grace? 5 plus? Who knows? Long time. I'm excited to have him here for the first time. Please give it up for Chris Sullivan.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to be singing God is My Source. Please stand as you are able. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything. Joy. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Love. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Let's do love. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Back to God. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Good morning. I know. Look at you. You know, I know that most of the people that come to a 9 o'clock service are online. But you guys have really got some going on this morning. That's kind of like, they're like awake. What happened? I know because the sun's up earlier. And you get to go to coffee before you come here. I understand totally. All right. So, my dears, I just want to welcome you. I'm Kathy Ann Lewis, and my pronouns are she, her. When a they and a them, yes, I'm a female. I identify as being female, but I'm more than that, just like all of you are. We're more than our gender. We're more than our classification. We're more than a box that we check off to fulfill somebody's need to know who you are. So anyway, it's good to be here on this Easter next Sunday. The day after, the Sunday after, listen to me, the day after Sunday. I sort of live from Sunday to Sunday. Can you kind of hear that? And I take a little interlude to ride a horse, and then I come back, and this is my life. Anyway, it's really good to have you here. It's good to have you online. And I want to just remind all of you, if you have not yet filled out a connection card, for those of you that are in the seats, they're available in the seat backs in front of you. You can let us know. Well, first of all, we'll say welcome. Hello. QR codes for more information. And then you can connect with us. Let us know not only your pertinent information so we can get information to you, but also what you're interested in, because we have a lot going on, so much more than Sunday. So much more than Sunday. And for those of you online, we are not missing you, my dears. There is a connection card available to you, and your web host will show you the link so you can sign up and be a part of what's going on. One of the things that goes on is you get to have a Wednesday night service come to your phone or computer. It just shows up. There it is. And I give a little lesson and some music, and it's all good. And then also, on Fridays, you'll get all the list of things that are happening that week, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Oh, by the way, do you know that there are people that wake up in the middle of the night just to eat? They have insomnia. Was that I heard the tone of that piano, and I understand that I won't give that joke ever again. So let's just move on. We need a prayer now. Life is good, has always been good. We're just here to remember that. We're here to remember what's going on. We're here to pay attention. I love it. I will always, until I get a better definition, I will always repeat Rabbi Shapiro. God is that which is going on. But are we paying attention to what's going on? Or are we paying attention to our own inner chatter? So let's just take a deep breath and let that chatter sink to the bottom of our consciousness. So we can remember at a very deep level that God is our source. And God gives us everything we need. And there's so many ways to interpret that. But we as human beings have needs at times. This song was written by Karen Drucker, not when she was in need of money or friendship or gigs. She wrote this song in her head when she was doing the AIDS ride from San Francisco to LA. And she saw a big hill. And she'd already ridden all day. And there was that hill. And she took one look at it and she said, I can't get over that hill. And then all of a sudden the words started coming. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. And she got up the hill and finished that day. So what is your hill? What's your hill? What's the hill? Is it a conversation you don't want to have? Is it a task you don't want to do? April 15th is coming up. God is the power. God is the grace. God is the fulfillment of everything that I need, that you need, that we need. Let that song be an anthem within your heart. And so it is.
Sometimes I'm not sure who I am, or even if I'm where I'm supposed to be. Grateful for all of my memories, starting to feel like I need new air. Today isn't my forever. I'm always changing for the better. I listen closely to my soul to know what I've gotta let go. And every single day I'm looking forward. Be brave, embrace change, taking steps into the unknown, breaking free, finding clarity, what's best for me. I will find my way. Every single day I find my way. Nothing is good, nothing is bad. I let life happen. Take it all in. I choose to focus on myself and promise to always put myself first. Today isn't my forever. I'm always changing for the better. I listen closely to my soul to know what I've gotta let go. And every single day I'm looking forward. Be brave, embrace change, taking steps into the unknown, breaking free, finding clarity. What's best for me, I will find my way. Every single day I find my way. Whatever stays, whatever goes, I know what's best for me will happen. I'm ready to put myself first. Whatever stays, whatever goes, I know what's best for me will happen. I'm ready to put myself first. 'Cause every single day I'm looking forward. Be brave, embrace change, taking steps into the unknown, breaking free, finding clarity. What's best for me, I will find my way. Every single day I find my way. And every single day I find my way. Every single day I find my way.
Thank you, Chris. Oh, it's good to have Guy up in the loft again, the angel loft, where all the wonderful things happen. It's good to, we have, by the way, we have wonderful people that bring about this service, especially for those of you online. So you have good sound, you have multiple cameras, and it's all being orchestrated, along with the wonderful scenery. I mean, thank you, all of you up there. Thank you so much. It's good, good, good. All righty. So today's talk is all thoughts are seeds, and then I realized that that's not true, but so we'll get to that. I made a mistake. But with spring, things are sprouting up all over the place, whether I want them to or not. So I thought it was a good idea to let nature be our guide for the April talks. Judge Thomas Troward, who is one of the most influential influences, I guess that's overstatement, but anyway, one of the great influences to Ernest Holmes was Judge Thomas Troward, and he said, I only read two books. One is the Bible and the other is nature. And out of those two things, all of his philosophy unfolded. So I've always kind of wanted to learn from nature. Not wanted to, I guess I just fell into that because my grandfather was an ecologist before we would know what ecology was. He really understood the land and how you had to take care of it if you wanted it to take care of you. He also understood that all the animals on his property were there before he was. And it was not his job to disrupt their lives, but to live in harmony with them. And so that I got at a very early age, and it's still, percolating in me. So this is what I wrote about this month's theme, which is seeding the future. Ernest Holmes said, change your thinking, change your life. However, many of us have changed our thinking, but not found the quick results that we wanted. That's because real change, like a lovely garden, doesn't happen overnight. This month, we will consider appropriate thought seeds, or I should say seed thoughts, to plant into the receptive nature of the universal law of cause and effect. So we're going to look at gardening. And I feel like I'm in good hands, or not good hands, good company, I should say, because Jesus used agricultural parables to talk about things that were hard to grasp. And Buddha did you know Buddha had parables? I didn't know that till I went to Hawaii one year. And in the little, have you the drawer? I don't know if they still do it, the Gideon's Bible. So we opened the drawer, there's Gideon's Bible, and then parables by Buddha. Whoa. And I read them and like, whoa, I get it. Buddhism's finally making sense. Anyway, so it was good. So they both used agricultural ideas because people at that time, 2,000 and 2,500 years ago, understood agriculture. They were a part of it. And I don't think we still do as much. I'm not sure that children really know where milk comes from besides a cooler in the grocery store. But I do believe that most of us have gardens, or at least some go by someone's garden. So I'm going to talk about gardens. And when I said all thoughts are seeds, that's true, but not the whole truth. I realized when I was starting to do this, there's so much more to it than that. It's not that simplistic, which is one of the things that I think really makes spirituality hard, is because some people want to dummy it down to something so simple that it excludes certain things. For instance, change your thinking, change your life. That sounds good, doesn't it? Don't you really want to buy into that? And how many of you have changed a thought? And nothing happened. Now, sometimes you change a thought and it does happen. Now, that just drives you crazy, doesn't it? Why did it work then? Why did it work then? Why isn't it working now? Why isn't it working now? I hope to explain some of that today. Because we do teach the science of mind. I also teach the science of spirit, which is a different cosmology, you might say. But we're going to talk mind today. We're going to talk mind this month. The science of mind. Because it's really difficult to live in this world, which is not only material, but it's also mental, and not know how your mind works. This is like, oh yeah, trust me, I don't know how to do this. I don't do this. But let's just say someone came over to your house and said, let's look under the hood of your car and let me explain to you what all these things do. Don't do that to me. I don't really freaking care. Does it start or does it not? That's all I care about. But for those people that are interested, they can make the engine work when I couldn't. Does that make sense? So I'm just telling you what's under the hood and how it works. But we're going to use a gardening metaphor because I doubt that I can use a car engine metaphor very effectively since I don't know anything about it. So let's start with some some just gardening ideas. And this particular one comes from Jesus. When I said for the topic that all thoughts are seeds, it doesn't mean that all the seeds take. And Jesus talked about this when he said, you're throwing out thoughts, and some of them land on hard ground. And if they land on hard ground, they might be eaten by birds, but they're certainly not going to they're not going to have any roots because there's no place for the root to go into. There's no moisture. They're just going to blow away. So what does that mean? What I think that means is that all thoughts have potential, but if there's no receptivity to that potential, then they're not going to take unless you continually drop the seed, drop the seed, drop the seed. How many of you were raised on affirmations? How many you raised, in your metaphysical life on affirmations? If I just say it enough, eventually it'll take. And eventually it might, because eventually you throw that in and then eventually find a place that it can take root. But one or two thoughts, maybe not. Let's dive into that a little bit. So let's pretend, just work with me here. And I'm working with not only the science of mind, I'm not only working with that which understands logic and words, I'm also wanting to work with the other part of your brain that comprehends information through pictures. So join me now, and I'd love for you to just see yourself as a house. Actually, houses and consciousness, your identity, are very closely linked. They're closely linked in psychology. They're closely linked in dream work. And even in the Bible, when Jesus said, a house divided will fall. How many of you have been of two minds and you can't do anything? I mean, if that's some pretty good psychology, don't you think? Okay, so imagine yourself as a house. And then you have a garden outside. And then imagine what that garden right now looks like. Sometimes you have some crops coming up, and then other place it's kind of weedy and maybe rocky and nothing's happening here. For us, we live in just the kind of microclimate that grass doesn't do so well, but moss thrives. It's like, I'm green, love me. Anyway, so just imagine your own garden and what you've got, and do you like it or you not like it? How many of you have got your garden in mind? Thank you. It's going to be more fun if you play this way. Now, everything in that garden was once a seed or a bulb or a spore. I'm thinking of the mushrooms that come up in my place because I've got, let's just say, horses. And so you put horses in big mounds and things come up. According to my vet, they'd be interesting. Anyway. Or you have or what's in your garden came through a creeping vine over the fence or through the fence. You didn't plant it, but somehow, how many of you have been in places like that where your neighbor's garden wants to relocate? Have you got that? So sometimes it's not even, you didn't even plant it. You didn't try. Or you have a sapling pushing through the ground from somebody's tree or bush, and it's like seeking more expression. You know, life likes to express, then all of a sudden you got boop. What that happens is bamboo. It looks so innocent when it's just in a little pot, doesn't it? Doesn't it look innocent? And you think, oh, tall, it'd be a great barrier. I'll just put a little bamboo out. And pretty soon the neighborhood looks like a bamboo forest because down and up and down and up. So, see, this garden that you're looking at isn't just the seeds you planted. It's what's cropping up in consciousness all over the place. We're all in the same neighborhood, by the way. We all have neighbors that have things going on that we really wish they hadn't gone. You know, it's good for them, but not good for us. And so, unfortunately, what can happen is that which is invading your yard can be taking over the life of what you want to plant in your yard. It sort of just creeps in. For instance, we have a lot of evergreen trees, and they suck up a lot of nutrients. So we can't plant some things that we used to be able to plant and thrive in the city because the nutrients just aren't there. We get ferns and evergreens and moss really well. And we just have to be happy with that. But now let's move on. Here's some lessons. You've got your garden? Okay. Here's some lessons. We all live with circumstances we didn't consciously agree to. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I hope I can be poor forever. What I'd really like is for no one to like me. We don't wake up in the morning and say, you know what? Every day I'm growing feebler. Am I saying that right? More feeble and more feeble. Oh, more and more feeble. Or we don't wake up and say, I hope I can't pronounce words today. We don't do that, do we? And how's this stuff showing up? This is the stuff that's slipping in from the race culture, from people that believe it and they're close to us, and so they just sneak in. The vine comes over, or the vine comes through, or just, where'd this come from? Where'd this belief come from? Ugh. Now, some things were also seeded in us so long ago we don't remember, and then they just continually reseed themselves. There are plants like that. They're called volunteers. They just keep coming up. For instance, I don't think I was ever directly told, but I watched the women in my life believe that they were as good as the husband they married. So my value was based on who I married. That was planted in me, and I lived it out. I lived it out so much that my first husband was a Mormon. And because I converted for a while. It didn't take long. But anyway, I converted, and I was a good Mormon. And then I was told my place in heaven was determined by how far my husband would go in the church. Really? My place in heaven was based on him. So I didn't go looking for somebody that I might love and get along with. I was looking for a bishop. I'm going to find myself a bishop. I'm going to find myself a stake president. I might even get myself an apostle. Yep, that's where I'm going, because I'm going to the top. Nobody can keep me from God, and you look, yeah. Oh, trappings, everything. Didn't last long. Because there's something about a marriage not based on love, common interests, or values that really get in the way of a long-term relationship. So that didn't last long. But I was the garden, that seed was planted, and it was growing, and I was taking care of it. See, sometimes we take care of the seeds we didn't even plant, because that's out of respect to our past or whatever. Do you know, when you continue the idea that you're a this or a this or a this because you heard it, and you continue to live that, it's because you are taking care of the crop. You didn't plant it, but you didn't take it out. Eventually I took it out. Only took me 9 months. It's like, this is a bunch of stuff. What? I mean, it finally occurred to me. I've been close to God all my life. Why in the world wouldn't I always be close to God? This is a bunch of hooey. So, now some things I didn't buy into that were definitely planted in my consciousness. And I definitely tore them out. My mother, my aunts, and my father told me, get a job you can depend on. Be a secretary or a bookkeeper, preferably with the government, so that you can have job security, and then you can have a great life after you retire. I tore that puppy out right away. It's like every time it was planted, it's like, oh, not for me. Thank you very much. Now, think about it. Look at your garden. What's growing there that you didn't plant? But you didn't tear it out. You didn't tear it out. Those vines coming through the fence and the roots seeking expression in your yard is just what society is always putting out there. And society changes, but sometimes it's slow to change because people are willing to accept what they think is right instead of tearing things apart. Instead of saying, no, not me, not here. I'm just looking at gender stuff. That's why I guess I said, I'm a she and a her and a they and a them, because we've gotten so weird about gender right now. Like, who cares? It's a human being. And we're finally seeing that human beings express in so many different ways. And instead of saying, hallelujah, we got an orchestra, people are saying, no, we only play 2 notes. What? But that'll change. But notice if it's growing in your yard or anything that the society says. Society tells us how we're supposed to view others. And society, some cultures tell people what God believes, which I know something in the universe just chuckles over. It's just kind of funny. But if it's not creating a beautiful experience in your consciousness, tear the puppy out. If it makes you feel more isolated, tear it out. If it makes you feel less loving, less secure, less proud of yourself, tear it out. And next thing I want to say is that we can redesign our life anytime. I created a class called Self-Mastery, and it's been redone by everybody that's touched it. But the whole thing behind that idea of self-mastery is that we can generate our own experience by being still enough to see the thought behind it. And then we can weed the thought. But this may take more than an afternoon or a class, but at least you'd have the tools to do so. I actually like I would call self-mastery the gardening toolbox for creating the life you want. Now, let me give you an illustration of that. So look in your garden now. Look back, you're the house and you've got a garden. What area of the garden isn't thriving? Look at your garden. What area is not thriving? And then let the Holy Spirit reveal to you, what is that area? Is that area about relationships? Is that area about health? Is that area about whatever it is? What is it? And if we were in self-mastery, we would take the time to take a deep breath and see what's keeping that area from thriving. And it's usually a very simple thought. Usually a very simple thought. When I first came to Seattle, man, I had difficulty. The Board of Trustees thought I was doing everything wrong. People, because I was new and doing things differently, it was all wrong. And I understood that. It's like, I'm new, everything's wrong, I get it. But then it just seemed to be compounded. The man I was married with, I don't know, we were with each other, I don't know what to say. Anyway, the gentleman I was married to would correct my talks on every Sunday. Afterwards, I would be processed. I know, I saw the eyes. I mean, really, can you imagine? And I'd just like, okay, I'll try to do better. Can you imagine me saying that? Oh, I did. So I was wrong by them. And then like the piece de resistance is when we hired somebody to help us with education, and she kept telling me I was charging the wrong amount. And I thought, but here's the documents from home. I'm charging exactly the right amount. But she would question everything. I mean, she'd only been there for like 4 weeks. It's like, I was wrong. And then I had this epiphany. I mean, like a major epiphany. Like, oh, I saw me wearing old garments that said I'm wrong. And I took those, in that meditation, I took those garments off. And I knew that as soon as I took those garments off of I'm wrong, people who thought I would be wrong would leave. And sure enough, I got a new board of trustees. I certainly got a new person working in the education office. I got a new husband. Well, it just went on and on and on. Let's just say it this way. And it was all easy. I didn't try to make it happen. It just did. It just did. Because if you're not wearing wrong, you don't attract people who want to find something wrong with you. Do you see the difference? This is important. And you can do this. Yes, I'd love for you to take self-mastery next time it comes around, but it's not signing up right away. So just listen though. If you are really still and you look at the areas of your life that are not flourishing, you allow yourself to drop below the condition and let the Holy Spirit reveal to you what's keeping the soil unnourishing to what I think I'm planting. Just like the fir trees keep us from growing tomatoes. Unless I mean, unless we want to build big boxes, which we don't, they're not growing in our soil. The soil's not bad, but it does not support vegetables. Ferns, moss. I'm going to have to learn how to make moss soup or something. Anyway, so that's another thought. Kathy Ann, bring it back. But if you look to what's not flourishing and you go deep enough, you'll understand what's keeping it from flourishing. So, this is part of redesigning your garden. What do I want to have grow? And what do I need to have it grow? Then don't wait for a totally clean slate or a vacant mind to start planting the experiences you desire. Now when you're working on the quality of the soul, then start planting things. Keep planting things. Keep planting things. For instance, there are a whole lot of vines out there that say what to expect when you grow older. And I just keep tearing those vines out. Oh, the heck no. I got a life to live. I got horse shows to go to. I got world championships to achieve. I mean, if we win the lottery, I'm buying a cutting horse. I'm telling you, I got plans. And so what I do is I tear out the things about what I can expect, and I'm getting stronger and have more vitality. I went to Egypt and I was charging up places that before I would go, I'm different, and I'm not doing anything different except I'm changing my mind. I'm not buying into what I don't want, and I keep planting what I do. I keep planting what I do. What I want, what I do want, what I want to have, the way I want to live, I keep planting it. And it's showing up. I was like amazed. Whew. Also, it's not just what you think, it's also what you do. It's cultivate seeds through action as well as thought. So I'm not, waiting to get perfect. I'm writing all the time. I'm getting better all the time. I'm acting as though there might be a possibility. And out of that, I'm writing better than all the time. I'm getting better. So let's look at how you might do that. Let's say that you have, let's say that you decide that you want to remodel your kitchen. Because the area of your garden that says kitchen isn't up to snuff for some reason. You need a bigger refrigerator, you need a freezer, whatever. Yes, have the thought that you are going to have everything that it takes to remodel your kitchen, and then do some things like research what you would like it to look like. Research how much it might cost. Like, I'm surprised that people say they want to travel, but they don't know what it would cost. They don't want to know what it would cost because they don't think they can do it. Do you see how those things go together? So you have a thought and then you don't do anything. That says, I don't believe a word of my own self. I don't believe that wish. I don't believe my power. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in prayer. I don't believe in possibilities. And this garden is just going to go to the dogs. So think about it. If you have a thought, what action can you do to follow up? It doesn't cost anything to see how much it might cost to get a bid. And then start a savings account. I am shocked how much money comes to me from unexpected sources as soon as I set up a savings account for something. I put a little bit in and then some more money, and then if there's no bucket, where are you going to put it? When you start to save for something you believe is going to happen. Do you see the difference? Jesus even said it, pray believing, not pray hoping and wishing. It's your actions that really plant the seeds deep, not on the surface, so they can be blown away. If you want to be healthy, get a checkup, because you believe that everything's going to support you in your health. So, my dears, I have 2 assignments for you. Oh, I know. Look, I love it. Everybody sits up. I got an assignment. All right. Oh, good. Some of you are like, oh, yay, homework. Others are like, oh, no. You will be tested before you leave. No. No, I'm just kidding. Assignment. I'd love for you today or tomorrow, but I think this afternoon would be more fruitful if you do it this afternoon, because this is still on your mind, is to take your journal and draw a garden. And draw different areas of your life, and then put in how flourishing is it? Is it got like a tulip here and a tulip there in some areas, or a big, huge, beautiful magnolia tree in another area? And flush out the garden. Use your right brain to help you see what your life looks like in this metaphor. The other thing to do is, and then, since you have an idea of what your garden is now, pick the areas that you want to cultivate. Not everything, but what area do I need to cultivate? One of the areas that I realize is that we moved into our home almost 18 years ago, and it's probably time to repaint and redecorate, which does thrill me, but not so much my husband. But so I've been putting it off. It's like, no, why? I would really like to redo my home. So that's an area I want to cultivate this year. And it won't cost anything to just find out how much it would take. Does that make sense? Okay, so do the same thing for your life. What do you need to cultivate? What do you feel called to have more, to express more beauty in your life? The next thing is, plant the ideas for your new garden by putting a word on one of these that you got. This looks like paper, but it's also got seeds in it. So if you write a word on here, so I might say, what do I want if I have redo my home? I would put harmony. I want more harmony in my home. I want things to look like they go together instead of Asian farmhouse. No, really. Because I lived in, just things I acquired along the way, and then Tim threw some stuff in. And anyway, so harmony. Then what's so lovely about this is that it's got seeds, so you can plant this and cultivate it in either a pot, or you can put it in your garden, or you can put it anywhere there's dirt, because these seeds are wildflowers. Yeah. So a little wildflower, like, not a bad idea, especially if there's something that is looking a little bare. So this will then watch it grow. And as you're cultivating this, cultivate the area of that garden that you want to have flourish by thinking the thoughts, having the experience, which is for me harmony, and then doing the research. Action follows thought to make it go deep. Now those are your assignments. Let's pray. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for spring. I'm so grateful for spring. I'm so grateful for life revealing itself in beautiful and new and yet familiar ways. New and familiar. What a paradox. That's spring. That is spring. And so I give thanks that each and every one of us are evaluating the garden of our own life. Perhaps the Garden of Eden is not something that happened a long time ago. It's not a mythical story. The Garden of Eden is what we create around ourselves to live a more harmonious heavenly life. That's it. Harmonious heavenly life. And I say thank you, sweet Spirit, for bringing us together. And I speak my word of inspiration for every person here that we are truly called to know what's ours to cultivate in April. What is ours to bring forth? What is ours to weed out? What is ours to plant? Thank you. And so it is.
I have often dreamed of a far-off place where a hero's welcome will be waiting for me, where the crowds will cheer when they see my face, and the voice keeps saying, this is where I'm meant to be. I'll be there someday. I can go the distance. I will find my way. If I can be strong, I know every mile will be worth my while. When I go the distance, I'll be right where I belong. Down an unknown road to embrace my fate. Though that road may wander, it will lead me to you. And 1,000 years would be worth the wait. It might take a lifetime, but somehow I'll see it through. And I won't look back. I can go the distance, and I'll stay on track. No, I won't accept defeat. It's an uphill slope, but I won't lose hope till I go the distance and my journey is complete. Like a shooting star, I can go the distance. I will search the world. I will face its arms. I don't care how far. I can go the distance till I find my hero's welcome. Wait again. You're
That was lovely. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Ooh, Arnie's got our basket. I wouldn't have. Good. I'm glad you let me know who to ask. But before then, I have a few announcements. First of all, this is the first Sunday of the month. Therefore, we will have a potluck after second service. Yay! And for those of you that are here and went, oh, potluck? There's still time to get something, bring it back, because I'll tell you, it is a happening thing on first service. I mean, not first service, first Sundays. Downstairs, lots of really, really good food. And we'd love to have you join us because it's a great way to get to know another person in our community. But just because you're sitting there and chatting as you talk. Chat and talk. Also, just a heads up that we can start planning our summer activities because Gourmets for God goes live on Friday online. Yes. So this is exciting. And we will have a paper catalog for those of you that like to, highlight things and look at the map and see where we are. How's this compared to something else? The paper auction catalog will be available next Sunday. And so be looking forward to that. Also, Create a Better World is helping us recycle today and next Sunday. There's a list of things that you can recycle that you may not be able to think you can recycle, such as styrofoam and other things. So I forgot to bring mine, but I will bring them next Sunday. And let's create a better world, because some things just don't go into our regular recycle. I know that Tim and I have to haul some things away, so I could haul them here. This would be fun. All right, so please check that out, especially what we want to have recycled. So please check their list and bring them next week if you haven't brought them today. Also, this is for those of you online. Guess what? You have your own online announcement, and you guys can listen. Some of you, a lot of you are out of state. A lot of you are out of the Puget Sound area, and I understand that. And so it's hard to be here and feel the energy and feel the excitement of what can go on in a Sunday service or any of the activities that we have, such as potlucks. But you could come and join us at Seabeck, because it's a beautiful place to be in August. It's on the water. It's usually sunny. It's green. You can sit on the grass. You can rock in the rocking chair. You can do educational classes. You can do crafts. They feed you. So it's like the best of the best of the best of the best for a whole week. And you will feel so refreshed when you leave. So I really encourage all of you that are watching online to think about joining us in community on the Hood Canal in August. More information about that will be in the chat. And if you want even more information, please call the office and talk to Heidi about that. And then the last thing that I want to add is that I am doing the Power of Love Part 2, April 21st. And so we began with bending rebar with the soft part of our neck. Yep. And watching love bend rebar. Now, the question is, if love is that powerful, why isn't it working in my life? And there are reasons. The two that we're going to address on the 21st, and then and this is not just talk, you're going to have exercises. This is a very process-oriented workshop. It's not just listening and writing notes. You're going to have an experience of when you gave up your power to the past, and an experience of when you gave up your power to someone else. And you're going to take your power back. And I think there's only 18 spots left, because I can only work with a small group of people, because you get a lot of attention. So if you're interested in that, your first service, you might fill it up. See Caleb after the service. He'll be at the registration table. And those are all of my announcements. Let's just take a deep breath. And I think Kathy's going to come up and bless our offering. And Arnie's going to come and bring the basket. Arnie's probably thinking to herself, did I know that first husband? Arnie knew all the guys in my life. Hi, Hi, Arnie, do you like this one? Oh, let's just take a deep breath. When life is fun, it should be fun. There was a very wise man that said, let us become as little children if we're going to enter the kingdom, the realm of happiness within ourselves. And children can make anything a game and make it playful. So even though I'm going to now ask for your support, I'm asking that you support this message, this ministry, this way of living, this way of cultivation, not only for our own life, but for the world in general. Your support is valued, appreciated, and your support is used wisely. So let your heart of hearts, that deep inner sense of yourself, reveal to you what is yours to do to support today. What is your gift? And not only do we take cash and credit cards and checks, there's envelopes in the seat backs in front of you. There's all those ways listed behind me. For you, those of you online, all of those ways that you can give are listed. Really check it out. What have you received today, and what is it that you want to contribute in return? Because that's kind of the way it works. Circulation works. And since I said playful, let's do some playful music. Oh, he's on it. I don't know what it's going to be, but it will be playful. So I want you to just come on up and put your offering in the basket, and let's just have a little fun.
Am I on? Yeah. So now we go to the time of service that's for Thanksgiving. So I'm so grateful for this music, for these images, for the message. And also a reminder that there'll be a prayer circle with Suzanne here if you would like prayer in person, online. Kay and Veronica are waiting to pray with you. So let's all go to our garden. And if there is any time this week that you find yourself in a dark place, pull up those weeds and plant the empowering ones. Plant something that would really go deep and transform your life. Because remember, God is our source, God is our power, and that's where we can go. I'm grateful for all of you. I bless you. And so it is.
It's time for the closing sing-along. You all know the drill. Joe, you know the drill.